What's up, freaks? This is Steve Does, episode number 3. I almost said Steve Says. You know, Steve Says is on Tuesdays. Steve Says on Tuesdays is a little more about the mental, the personal development, the mindset, the motivation. Then on Thursdays, we have Steve Does, which today is episode number 3, which is more about the actual fitness, training, nutrition side of things, which you actually need to go and do. So Tuesday is how you need to think and act. Thursday is what you need to actually go do and implement with that mindset that we talk about on Tuesdays. So this is Steve Does, episode number 3. I have you guys here on the screen live. If you have any questions, you can throw them in there. Today's content is based off of the questions that have come in throughout the week and earlier today from you guys on Facebook and Instagram and emails that you guys have sent in. Pull you up here. If you have any questions, put them right there in the comments right as we're rolling. And you know, this is all about what are you struggling with when it comes to weight loss, fitness, training, health, nutrition. What are you struggling with? What are your problems? What do you need help with? What questions you have in any of that? We're keeping it usually specific to these topics. So it's not going to be, we're going to try and usually keep the questions on topic. But if you have a question about anything that has to do with health, fitness, training related, then throw it in there. That's fine. So today, episode number 3, we're talking about nutrition. So the first couple weeks we talked about what fitness meant to you, what health meant to you, and now we're talking about nutrition because you know these episodes are about fitness, health, nutrition, and training. So we're taking those basic generic terms and kind of showing you what it means in a peak freak world and how you really need to look at it in the real freaking world. So today, what is your definition of nutrition? Also, we're going to talk a lot about goals. I've had a lot of questions. That's why we picked nutrition and goals. That's our 2 main points is nutrition and goals for this week. We've had a lot of questions throughout the week and actually just today in the last few hours about different goals, how to reach different goals, and then how nutrition needs to change according to your goals and the different macros you should be eating and all that type of stuff. We had a lot of questions on that. So we're going to go into all that. If you have questions in here, who's here with us? Rosa just joined up. What's up, Rosa? So how to set your goals, how to have real expectations for those goals, and then what if you've already reached your goals? We're going to go into all that because, you know, at peak, we train different, we eat different, we freaking act different because we are fucking different. We're peak freaks and we're proud of it. So here on Steve Does every week, you're going to learn about our unique training systems. You're going to prepare for the invasion. We're going to go through our unique weight loss strategies and, of course, our nutritional discipline and educational eating. And today is all about your nutrition and goals. What do both of those mean in a peak world, which is the real fucking world? It's a crazy world, but it's a real world. So you have questions, put them down there in the comments. We'll answer them right here, live, whatever roadblocks you're hitting, whatever you're struggling with at the time. Send in your questions, post them. We will go through them all right now. So these episodes are always going to have some basic topics, but they're really going to be based off of your questions. So ask them. Let's do it. So a couple weeks ago, I was telling you we talked about fitness and what does fitness mean to you and what does it mean to in the peak world. Then last week was about health. What does health really mean? Not just generic terms and the stupid shit that the people throw around there when it comes to health. We talked about the real root and true definition of health, and you know, not just the general thoughts on those terms, but what they really freaking mean in the real, brutal, crazy freaking world out there. So today is about nutrition. So what is your definition of nutrition? What is nutrition? You hear the word nutrition. What do you think when you hear the word nutrition? What does nutrition mean to you? I'll give you a chance to put that in there, or if you have any questions, you could throw them in there. So what does nutrition actually mean to you? I'm going to hold you guys here so if you have any questions, I can see it right there. The real definition of nutrition could mean nourishment or diet or even sustenance, which is sustaining life, or nourishment for life, or livelihood, the process of sustaining, the state of being sustained. It could all be considered nutrition. But this is all just the textbook shit, and you know we do things at peak a little different than is done in the books. Nutrition also could mean the process which organisms take in and utilize food material. Now, if that's what nutrition meant to you, you're a freaking robot. But that's what the books are going to tell you. And you know we do things not by the book at peak. We don't do our training by the book. We don't do our nutrition by the book. We do what fucking works and what's gotten results for people for almost 20 years with our systems. unmatchable results, undeniable results on the way that we train and the way that we eat and the way that we think, mostly the way we freaking think. Because we know it all starts with that. That's why Tuesdays we think, Thursdays we freaking do. And that's what it's all about. So what is your definition of nutrition? I'll give you the peaks overview of what nutrition is about. And this might be a long-winded definition, if you want to call it a definition. First of all, the last 2 weeks, the words that we had, just like the last 2 weeks when it came to fitness and health, the last 2 weeks, the word nutrition doesn't necessarily mean a good word or doesn't necessarily mean healthy. It just was sustaining and food and things like that. So it doesn't, right off the bat, it doesn't mean all of a sudden, just because the word nutrition doesn't mean it's healthy. There could be good nutrition and there could be freaking bad nutrition. Like most things and everything, especially we've been talking about on these episodes so far, there could be a positive side and a negative side. And it's up to you to decide which way you're going to go, what direction you're going to go. That's everything in life. You have the power of freaking everything in your freaking brain, in your head, in your discipline muscles. And we're going to get into that when it comes to all this stuff and when it comes to eating. So the word itself, to mean, it doesn't hold much meaning. The word nutrition really doesn't hold much meaning. It's just a state. Now, is that state going to be positive or negative? Our way of eating at Peak, we call it nutritional discipline and educational eating. That's what we call it. You hear me say it all the freaking time at Peak is nutritional discipline, educational eating. And just saying just nutrition and eating, even if you call it healthy eating, just saying nutrition and eating, those are not enough. Those are not enough. It has to be, you need to add in the educational part of the eating and the discipline part of the nutrition. Otherwise, what is the eating? You could be eating shit, or you can not have the discipline with your nutrition. It could be negative instead of positive. So we need to specifically have the nutritional discipline and educational eating. And that's all we do. We don't do diets. We don't have any diets. We just show people the numbers, show them what they need to do to get to where they need to go according to the numbers, according to your freaking goals, and according to just what's going to actually work in the real world, not in some freaking textbook. So I guess you could say what nutrition really comes down to in order to make it positive freaking nutrition is education and discipline. That's it. That's what nutrition means to me, or that's what nutrition means to Peak in the whacked out Peak freak world out there. Because we do not go by the book. We're going to go into more detail on that in a second. So without those two, without the education and the discipline, without those two, then you're just eating and temporarily nourishing yourself and just barely getting by to the next day, living freaking paycheck to paycheck on the inside of your body. If it's not with discipline and it's not educational eating. Even if what you consider healthy, is it conducive to your goals? That's why you can't just say healthy eating. Healthy eating doesn't mean it could be a healthy food. That doesn't mean it's going to be conducive to your goals. That's why you need to be educated on it. What you need to do, what you need to avoid. There's tons of healthy foods out there that if you're looking to lose weight, it's gonna benefit to you to avoid them. And my Peak freaks know about this, but we're just spreading some of this word. So even if you know this stuff, I'm sure you know this already. You already know a lot of this, but having a refresher course is not going to hurt you to go over this stuff again and just keep ingraining it in your freaking brain to get it going. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. So even if what you eat is considered healthy, you have to ask yourself, is this conducive to my goals? And most likely your goals are probably weight loss. And there's some people not. And that was some of the questions about if I've already reached my goals, how can I adapt or how can I change my healthy eating? We're going to go into that at the end a little later. So is it conducive to weight loss? Because most people's goals are weight loss. Will it accelerate or decelerate your weight loss goals? What is this going to do? This healthy food that you're talking about. Or obviously, the unhealthy shit. When you eat a fucking cheeseburger, that shit's not good for you. The bread and the bun's not good for you. The cheese is loaded in fat. The burger's all greasy, tons of calories, tons of fat. This shit. So we're even talking about the healthy stuff. There's tons of healthy foods that are not conducive to your goals or not conducive to weight loss. And that's what we're talking about here today. So are you eating for your goals is the question. You need to ask yourself. First, are you having discipline with your nutrition? Then are you educating yourself on your eating? Are you making, education, are you using education to decide if something's a yes or a no according to your goals? So are you eating towards your goals? Is this healthy food conducive to your goals and conducive to weight loss, which is probably what your freaking goals? And if it is sort of, it's an okay food, is it going to accelerate or decelerate? If it's not taking you towards your goals, it's something you probably need to avoid, even if it's the healthiest fucking thing in the world. And you'll just make up for it in other places, you know, if you're deficient in something, whatever. And we're talking about the general person that's looking to lose weight. Obviously, if you have different deficiencies or things with your doctor that you need to worry about, you're going to deal with that, or different allergies and all that other stuff. There's always things you need to be tweaking and adjusting and modifying, just like your workouts. You're going to modify your workouts according to your needs or maybe a previous injury or something. You're going to do the same thing with your nutrition. Modify your freaking nutrition the same freaking way. That's what nutrition is. This is all what it's all about. It's modifying it. It's having the discipline. It's educating yourself on it. And educating, we're talking about real world, in the trenches, you know, street knowledge, if you want to call it, as opposed to the book bullshit education that's not going to even help you that much. A lot of scientific crap that is not going to get you to your goals. I can sit here and spit out all kinds of facts and things about your digestion and all this other stuff, but a lot of that stuff, when it comes down to it, it's not going to help you. Sure, it could sound all fancy and smart, but that shit ain't going to get you your goals. We're keeping this shit simple for you to get you to your goals, and it's happened time and time and time again with unmatched, unequal results in the area or anywhere. So the second thing we're going to talk about today is your goals and the connection between your nutritional discipline, your educational eating, and your goals, your goal setting, and then your continuing goals going forward. So let's imagine this. Imagine you're there sitting there with whoever, your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your pet goat or whatever the fuck you have, and you're struggling. You're struggling with your eating, and you're struggling with your discipline. You're caving into temptation on a regular freaking basis, eating a whole bunch of freaking nasty shit all the time that you know you shouldn't be eating. Now, of course, you're not reaching your goals. You're not losing any weight. You're actually probably gaining weight, and you don't know what to do. So you both think you're trying so hard because you know, you're eating good Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and then starting to fade towards the weekend. And then the weekend, you're having some drinks and eating some shit you know you shouldn't be eating. But to you, you're trying pretty hard. It's harder than you've tried in the past. So you both think you're trying so freaking hard and nothing's working. So you decide to go to a professional nutrition person, whoever that might be considered. We're not here to bash any labels or jobs or professions or anything like that, because there's good people out there in all areas. But you and your pet goat decide to go meet a professional, whatever you want to call it, whatever that person is considered. Now, keep in mind, this is a scenario we've seen literally hundreds and hundreds of times at Peak over the years. So this isn't like just some made up stuff. I'm just letting you see it from your side, from your point of view. So let's go back. You visit this professional, and they're a very nice person. They aren't exactly the model of being fit that you see as your goals or what you would consider as fit. And actually, when you get a little closer look at this professional person, you realize they have a decent amount of extra weight that they can lose themselves. But we are positive freaks, right? We always consider the bright side of things and the positive side of things. And so we consider the very possible fact that maybe they already had lost 40 or 50 pounds in their own weight loss journey. And maybe they're still on their way down, and maybe they've gotten results already, losing 40 or 50 pounds, eating the way that they're about to teach you with their knowledge. And, you know, they have a whole bookcase of all their nutritional books. And, you know, we always like to remain positive. So, and find the bright side of things no matter what. So you get a copy of your marching orders from this professional, and they have a college degree. They have all kinds of certifications and all this impressive stuff on their walls. They're framed in these nice, pretty picture frames and all this other stuff. So this person really seems like they have their shit together. You're still a little thinking about it, that they have some weight to lose, but you're thinking I get it. They probably were really overweight. They applied all the things they're about to teach me, and now they're still on their journey, because we're positive. We are positive fucking Peak freaks, and that's the way we look at everything. We try to flip shit, and no matter what the situation, try to look at it positive, right? So this professional, confusing the hell out of my body. What, Rosa? What's confusing the hell out of your body? I just saw your comment there. Rosa's confusing the hell out of her body. A little more allowed. Maybe it's just me speaking is confusing the hell out of your body. Probably. Me speaking is confusing the hell out of my fucking body and confusing the hell out of my brain. So let's get back to our story. So you get your marching orders from this professional in the form of a nice copy and pasted sheet of paper that it was just printed off of the internet, off of some, you know, website or whatever they have, identical to, almost like identical, maybe some portion size a little different than the piece of paper that they copy and pasted that they gave with your, you know, prescribed, because they're the professional, to your pet freaking goat. So, but you still remain positive. You're determined. You're freaking determined. You will give this a chance. You are going to stick to this because you are in desperate need of some freaking help. Nothing is working for you. So you will follow this nutrition expert's advice. I mean, they did have those certifications on the wall, and they had a college degree, and they had a fancy bookcase with a whole bunch of freaking, I don't know, Encyclopedia fucking Britannica or some shit. So you're going to do this. So you start on your journey. You're going off of this copy and pasted form that you have, that they gave you, of you and your pet goat, and you start on your journey with your natural peanut butter on your rice cakes and your apples and your bananas and the grapefruit and the veggies. There's some guacamole in there you have to choose from. You can, each meal you have a choice, either 1 cup of brown rice or whatever else. There's either 4 ounces of chicken or 4 ounces of beef. There's 1 serving of oatmeal in the morning, or you can choose instead to have 2 egg whites and mixed with a whole egg with the yolk, or there's a slice of whole wheat bread in there, some whole wheat pasta choices in there. There's different foods you could eat. A lot of good healthy stuff, different than that fast food you've been eating. There's choice options for beans and skim milk and some other healthy whole grain and healthy fat type of food. So several weeks go by and your results aren't exactly what you were expecting or what you were freaking hoping for. Rosa's yo-yo dieting has been confusing her body. Of course, it's confusing your body. And you need to work on this nutritional discipline we're talking about. You need to stay engaged, get focused, and we're going to go into the goals in a second and how to stay focused on those goals. But so these foods that all I just listed, they're all healthy, right? And it's probably even maybe better than you were eating before. So you possibly could get some results eating all that stuff I just listed. It's all healthy stuff. Healthy, great performance-based foods that are, fall within the guidelines of what you should be eating. And I hear it all the time. Oh, but this is a healthy fat, right? I can have it because it's a healthy fat. Well, let me ask you a question out there. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather walk around being a healthy fat person or walk around being a healthy skinny person? So that's always my answer when someone tells me, oh, it's a healthy fat. Yes, but it's still fat. Do we need fats? Of course. You're going to have some fats, but not when it's 50% of your fucking diet. We're not going to do that. We don't want to walk around being a 50% healthy fat person. So, and we don't use the F word too much. We say fuck a lot more than we say fat, but that's besides the point. So these foods, they might even keep your macros within range. Your macros, which is your protein, your carbs, and your fat. If you don't know that, your percentages. These types of foods might even keep your macros within range of what has been the healthy standard in this country for the last, probably 30 years or more. Probably even more. Depending on your body type, whether you're an endomorph, mesomorph, ectomorph, the ranges can vary slightly. But the acceptable macronutrient distribution range for adults as a percentage of your calories is from protein can range from 10 to 35%. From fat can range from 20 to 35%, and carbohydrates can range from 45 to 65%. That's like the general standards in the United States. That's been for decades and decades, right? That's how you eat healthy. So I'm going to say those numbers again in case you missed them. The reason why there's a range is depending on your body type, how your metabolism works. So protein can range from 10 to 35%. Fat range from 20 to 35%. Carbs can range from 45 to 65%. So this is how Americans have been taught to eat since we're kids for decades and decades and decades. Now these numbers that are in the books, how you're taught if you're becoming one of those nutrition professionals. These are the numbers. These are like you live by these numbers. This is how you teach people to eat. And this is also why more than 35% of adults in the United States are obese and even more overweight. Obesity affects over 17% of all children in the United States, which is 3 times more on both children and adults than it was just the previous generation before this, this current population that we're in now. So 32% of children right now are considered overweight or obese. 32% of kids. That's fucking crazy. That's sick. This is fucking sick. But that's because they're going off of those standards that are in every book, every nutrition, taught in fucking colleges to get a degree to wear that funny hat and the little silly bathrobe to tell you graduated college. I'm sure there's whatever. This isn't about education right now, that type of education. But that's because they're taught protein should be between 10 to 35%, fat should be between 20 to 35%, and carbs should be between 45 to 65%. And obviously, since 35% of the United States is obese, and I really think it's even higher than that. That's what I think the numbers were in like 2010. I don't know if they updated it. I don't think they could even update it. I can guarantee the overweight population is over 50%. Or damn close to 50% in the United States. It's gotta be. But those are the official numbers or whatever. So these old ways of eating and nutrition and fucking dietary guidelines have failed the human race, and especially Americans, for freaking decades now. And this is why we do things different at peak. This is why we beat to the different drum at peak and do things our own fucking way. We do shit the way you will find in no book, in no video, in no college course, but we do what's fucking effective in the real world, getting people real results regularly and consistent. And not only that, lasting for freaking ever. So that copy and paste fucking bullshit piece of paper, that some government guidelines computer program, that shit is not gonna freaking cut it anymore. Not if you want real results. Not if you want to transform your mind and your body and your lifestyle and make it freaking permanent and make it last forever. That shit ain't gonna work anymore. So for proper protein, you need real education. You need basic education. You need freaking discipline. You need coaching. You need community. You need accountability, and you need leadership for proper nutrition. You need all of that, not just some computer program telling you need this percentage because you're this old and this tall and your goal is this amount of weight. So now you have some ridiculous amount of carbs and fat that I'm going to tell you can have. That shit doesn't work, and that's why the whole country is overweight. They think that that's normal, and that's what's considered healthy and to lose weight, those numbers I told you. Now imagine the ones that are eating unhealthy according to those standards. It's even more fucking whacked out. So proper nutrition, you need to have this real world education that we're talking about here. It's basics, just the basics. Learning how to read a fucking label and what's inside the label and what percentages you really should be eating. You need fucking discipline. You need coaching. You need a community to support you. You need accountability to keep you on track. And you need freaking leadership. And then you need to follow that leadership and pay attention to what is going on around you and to people who have been there and done that are trying to help you out. So you need to think about coaching over tactics when it comes to this stuff. So some computer program or some fancy little letters in front of someone's name that is going to try and say how you should be eating and give you this meal plan and just a bunch of fucking numbers and percentages and statistics, all that bullshit. You know what's good? You know what's more powerful than that? Just being simply freaking coached. That's it. They need coaching more than they need any of that bullshit. Those numbers ain't cutting it. Those copy and paste bullshit and computer programs are not cutting it. And that's why the numbers are so fucking drastic in this country of overweight and obese people, even in the freaking kids. 32% of kids, 1 out of 3 kids are considered overweight or obese. That's freaking crazy. So next, we're going to go into whatever you want to call it, emotional eating that you hear a lot. Of course, we know is whatever, emotional eating. So you've been eating, whatever you have to ask yourself a few questions. And it goes into the goals also. How much weight do you want to lose? So that's why this nutrition flows right into the goals. How much weight do you want to lose? How much weight would you like to lose in the next 6 weeks? How much weight do you need to lose in the next 6 to 10 months? And what is your ultimate dream body goal? Because that's all different stages of the process. The short term, the midterm, and the ultimate dream body long-term goal. So that's going to determine how you're eating. So then that's why how this is why the nutrition stuff blends and flows right into the goals. You have to ask yourself, when is the last time you were at your ultimate dream body goal? When's the last time you're at your ultimate? So you're at, say you weigh 175 right now. Your ultimate dream body goal is to weigh under 130 pounds. When's the last time you weighed under 130 pounds or whatever your ultimate dream body goal is? And I've asked that question to people before and they've told me I've never been at my ultimate dream body goal. I'm like, what the fuck? Were you born at 131 pounds? There has to be an amount of time. And it's crazy the amount of times we hear sometimes that someone's been at their goal weight. And it can range anywhere from a year, we've heard up to 30 years, and everywhere in between. It usually averages for the average general American is that we interview. It's somewhere in between 5 and 6 years that they've been in their ultimate dream body goal, depending on how old they are, obviously. But it has been up to over 30 years. And guess what? You can reverse that in a year or less. You can reverse 30 fucking years in a year or less. I guarantee it. I don't need to know anything about you. I don't need to know what your history is, what your health history is, what injuries you have. I guarantee you can reverse that shit in a year or less. I promise you can. It's just about nutritional discipline, educational eating, and having that coaching and community and following leadership. And so this emotional eating stuff, right? So how long has it been? So it's been, let's say 7 years since you've been at your ultimate dream body goal. So for 7 years, you've been eating for flavor. You've been eating for taste, for enjoyment. You eat when you're happy, you eat when you're sad, and you've heard all this stuff before. I know you've heard this stuff before, but we need to fucking drill this into your head. You eat when you're by yourself, you eat when you're with a crowd. You eat when you're home, you eat bad because you're out. You find eat is always your outlet for everything. You make an excuse for fucking everything. You're happy, you eat. You celebrate, you eat. You fail, you eat. You cry, you fucking eat shit. So it is time now to stop eating for all those wrong reasons and start eating for fuel, for your overall health, for your fitness. And we went over what health and fitness was, for your freaking freedom, for your goals, for energy. That's what you're eating for weight loss. You're eating for your freaking future. You're eating for your fucking grandkids. That's what you're eating for now. Forget all this other bullshit. That's what you're freaking eating for now. A taste? So what's more important, your taste or your future fucking grandkids that don't even exist yet? Think about it. It's like some stupid shit. It's not even worth it when you eat something. You eat a cheeseburger, you wolf that shit down in like 2 minutes or less. I guarantee. You know how long on a fucking treadmill it's going to take to burn off that cheeseburger? At least like 2 or 3 hours on that treadmill it's going to take just to burn off the amount of calories. And now are the calories going to come off in the way you want them to? No, you're probably going to just hold on to the fat and burn off some protein or something on there because you're all whacked up and your metabolism is all screwed up and all that other stuff. So you've been eating long enough for taste and enjoyment and fun and depression and sadness and loneliness and all that other bullshit. It's time to eat for fuel and for your freaking future. That's what you're eating for. You eat for fuel and future. That's it. That is it. You've been eating long enough for all the wrong reasons. And that flows right into our goals. So I was asking you earlier, how much weight do you want to lose overall? What is your goal in the next 6 weeks? What is your goal in the next 6 to 10 months? What is your ultimate dream body goal? And how long has it been since you've been that ultimate dream body goal? So let's go back to that other example. Let's say you have 40 pounds to lose, 50 pounds to lose, right? Let's say 40 pounds to lose. And the last time you've been at that weight was 7 years ago, this same example we were using. And you haven't been at that weight in 7 years. So how much weight, the question was, how much weight should I be losing each week? And there were several questions about how much weight per week. That's why we went into this goals today, and we're going to go deep into this goal stuff. In general, depending on how much weight you have to lose, how much weight you've already lost, 1 pound a week is your average, milestone for weight loss. If you've already lost a ton of weight, it could be even slower than that. You might be only have 5 pounds left to lose. You're going to be at like a tenth of a pound per week because you're just trimming it down. You can't lose weight forever. You'll fucking disappear. So what are your goals and when's the last time you've been there? So let's say you haven't been there in 7 years. You have 40 pounds to lose and you're disappointed. I've had people who were disappointed. They're only losing 3-4 pounds a week for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 weeks in a row. Are you kidding? 3 or 4 pounds a week? Think about it. If you lost 1 pound a week for 40 weeks, that's less than a year, you would lose 40 pounds. And you haven't been at that weight of 40 pounds less for 7 years. So in 40 weeks, losing only 1 pound a week, you can reverse the effects of 7 years or whatever. Some people that's 20 years or 30 years. You can reverse effect with only losing 1 pound a week. Now, is it possible to lose more than 1 pound a week? Yes, we see it all the time. We've had people lose over 10 pounds in a week when they first start, but it's not going to be sustained. Obviously, that's not the way it's going to go. 1 pound a week is your goal. Also, 1 pound a week average is your goal, right? So let's say week 1, you lose 4 pounds. Week 2, you lose 2 pounds. Week 3, you lose 0 pounds. And week 4, you lose another 4 pounds. I don't even know how many that is. But you need to take how much weight did you lose in all those 4 weeks divided by 4, and you lost an average of 2.5 pounds a week. You know what I mean? So don't think, oh my God, I lost 0 pounds this week, that I screwed up on something, I failed on something. No, you need to look at the big picture. And that's just breaking it down within 4 weeks, how much you lost. Then you need to do the bigger picture over a longer frame of time, over months, because you could go through weeks sometimes where you don't lose anything. And then another week, you're going to lose 3 pounds. And the next week, you lose nothing. Next week, you only lose 1. Next week, you maintain the same weight. And then the week after that, you lose 2. It's going to go through phases. Your weight loss is going to go through periodization, just like everything else, just like your training, just like your nutrition. It's going to go through phases. And it can't just keep losing forever. There has to be some kind of process where your body gets used to it, where you start building some muscle, and then you start burning some calories, then you build some muscle, then you burn some fat, then you build some muscle. It's always going to be going up and down and things like that. Not really down, but maintaining at least. So you need to average out how many did you lose. So you can lose, if you lose 4 pounds in your first week, basically that whole rest of the month, you can lose nothing and still be on track. Because I would average out after 4 weeks to be 1 pound per week. If you're following my math, this is some peak freak fucked up math, but just follow it. If it makes sense. What do we got going on here? Rosa, sabotaging myself is my issue. I feel great when I lose weight, but for some reason I mess everything up. Don't know why I'm doing that because the crappy food is not satisfying me. And right now she's trying to get under 200, which is 20 pounds to get there. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Why do you want to get under 200, Rosa? What do you want to do it for? What's the reason why you even want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose weight, Rosa? Answer the question. Why do you want to get under 200 pounds, Rosa? Why do you want to be fit? Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to be leaner and lighter? Not just because you want to be healthier. I already asked you why you want to be healthy already. So I already cut the answer that you say I want to be healthier. I want a specific reason, Rosa, why you want to be under 20 pounds. And there's a book that you already read that I already told you to read. You should go read again. I'm actually reading it for my 3rd time right now. So why do you want it, Rosa? Answer that question. And Ita says she's never been to her dream goal. 36 years of obesity, was born obese. You've never been a dream goal. So you're one of those people who are born at 131 fucking pounds. Thanks, Peak, for helping me lose 40 pounds 10 more to go. Ida is down 40 pounds, looking to lose 10 more. And we're going to get into that once you get to those final stages, what adjustments you can make. We're going to get to that in a second. So back to the goal of how many pounds you want to lose per week and all that stuff. Think, again, you have 40 pounds to lose. You haven't been at that weight. You haven't been 40 pounds lighter in 7 years. All you need to do is lose 1 pound a week for 40 weeks. 40 weeks doesn't sound that. It sounds, when you first think of it, you're like, oh my God, 40 weeks, that's so long. But when you haven't been there in 7 fucking years, 40 weeks is a nothing. That's shit. That's a weekend compared to 7 years or 30 years or whatever it's been. So you got to look at the big picture. We're going to work fucking miracles for you at Peak, but it's not going to be losing that weight so fast and then keep it off, because we also want to keep it off. We're not just looking to make you lose weight. We're looking to personally develop you, your mind, your brain, your habits, where this shit is going to last forever, and then teach you how to let it last forever and just keep going and going and going and going for the rest of your life. There's no maintenance. Maintenance is fucking death. We already know that. Rosa, if you're still here, I want to know, why do you want to lose 20 more pounds? Why do you want to lose weight at all? I want to know why. What are you losing weight for, Rosa? Answer the damn question. So that's the point, is you need to have real expectations for your weight loss goals. You need to think of the big picture, average it out, how much you lose per week. You need to eat for your goals, not for unless you're, if you're a performance athlete, that's different than weight loss. We're really talking about weight loss because we just saw that the majority of this freaking country is overweight and obese. So we are talking pretty much strictly for weight loss here. There's always going to be some other stuff you need to do there. So depending on how much you want to lose or how accelerated you want it to be, is how you're going to change your nutrition and what decisions you're going to make. So one of the questions was today, what if I've already reached my goals? Who asked that today? Someone asked that. Rachel, I think, asked that today. Is she in here? I don't see Rachel in here. It was several questions about, all right, I'm already at my goal. I've already reached my goal. I've already hit my goal, all this other stuff, right? So, all right, the first question is, you've already hit your goal. What was your goal? I want to know what your goal was. Was your goal just to lose a certain amount of weight? And that's all you cared about. You didn't give a shit what you looked like as long as you lost this weight. If that's the case, you could have just cut off a fucking arm and lost that weight in a day. So, or did you have a goal of the way you wanted to look? A goal of a size clothes you wanted to be in? What was your real goal? When someone tells me, I've reached my goal, or I'm almost at my goal, I want to know what that goal is, specifically what that goal is. Did you want a flat stomach? Did you want a six-pack? Did you just not want to be, overweight? Did you want to feel comfortable in a bikini? Did you want to look fucking good in a bikini? Did you want to wear that thong little string up your ass at the beach this summer? So what was your actual goal? When people say, I reached my goal, I want to know what that goal is to really help you figure out if you even really reached that goal. And if your goal is to be lean and fit, but you're afraid still to wear a bikini, or if you look at your stomach in the mirror and it's not the way you want it to look, you didn't reach your goal. I don't give a fuck what the scale tells you. You didn't reach your goal yet. So don't think goals. I'd like to hear more about it. The specific question was, she said, I'm getting closer to that point, or she said that she wants to hear more about eating long-term once you're at your goal. And she was getting closer to that point and would like to introduce certain healthy foods, but keep herself in a good balance so she doesn't gain the weight back. And we're back to that healthy food stuff, right? That whole list we added earlier. So we're going to get into that. So really, what is your goal? We need to know that already. The first thing is, don't ever tell yourself you're at your goal. You might have accomplished another win, another victory, but there is no end goal. There is no fucking end goal. The end goal is a cemetery. There is no finish line. There's really, to me, and the peak freak mindset, there is no finish line. There is no end goal. You can achieve victories, many victory after victory after victory, but what's the final goal? How could you have a final goal? You need to always be moving forward, striving towards something. That's what human nature is. That's what we are meant. We are goal-striving fucking machines. We need something to move forward in order to live, or we will die. You ever saw the person who retires and they die a few years after they retire because they have nothing to look forward to, nothing to move forward to, because they didn't have any kids or grandkids? They just retire and they die, just die of natural causes a few years later. Sometimes there's some people who died like within a week of retiring because they just had no goals. It just is done. They just shut down. So there is no fucking end goal. There is no finish line. There's no such thing as eating to maintain. We know maintenance is freaking death. So eat for your goal. If this whole time, this was from Rachel, if you were eating, say you weighed 180 pounds and you want to become 150 pounds, right? So you're eating for 100 goals of a 150 pound person. And now you got to 150 pounds. Guess what? You just have to keep you eating the same way you were eating, because you were eating for a 150 pound person. So now you're at 150 pounds. There's nothing really needs to change the way you're eating. If you're supposedly maintaining, or if you're keeping a steady weight. I don't even want to call maintain. I hate the fucking word maintain. Fuck maintain. So if you're keeping a steady weight, and that's you ate to get there, you're not going to keep losing weight forever. The weight loss is going to stop eventually if you don't tweak and start eating less, or tweak your nutrition, or up your training or something like that. So if you're at what you say is your goal weight, depends on what you look like. If you don't like the way that your goal weight looks, then you need to constantly be striving for more. Okay, now I'm at the weight that I originally set out for, but now I want those fucking abs. Now I want those glutes that I want, whatever the fuck is, whatever else there is. So you need to, figure out what was your goal weight, right? And you're there and you're not losing any more weight. So you already know how to eat for that weight. So nothing needs to change when you say, what can I start eating? You already know how to eat. This stuff is for life. This is how you eat for life. But if you're at a weight and you're not losing weight anymore and you've busted your ass to get there, so there's a yes list and a no list. Those healthy foods on the no list, right? That just means you can start incorporating them in moderation into your nutrition, once in a while on a semi-regularly basis, and you'll still be fine staying at that same weight. But think about it. If you start adding too much of that in, that's not how you ate to get to 150 pounds. So if you start eating a lot more than the 150 pound goal, then you're going to start drifting up. The good thing about it is, no matter what, if you're lean and ripped, your abs are where they want to be, you're in your little thong bikini on the beach, so you're like, okay, I don't need to do this high intensity training anymore because I'm already at where I want to be. Guess what? If you think you need to stop doing like this high intensity training, and that's what you did to get there, and you just stop it and think you can start eating more because now you're at your goal weight, you're going to gain fucking weight back fast. So the good thing about it is you're ripped and lean. You still need to bust your ass in training exactly how you did to lose that weight, so then you can live life on your own terms. And if you want to have a few drinks every weekend, you can. You want to have a slice of pizza every week or every 2 weeks, you could go do that. It goes to the saying, my own personal saying, one of my favorite quotes that I've created, which was, if you do what you're supposed to be doing for long enough, eventually you'll be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do forever. So you get to that point where you're at your goal weight, you're all lean and ripped, there's nothing more for you to do. And you say, okay, now I'm going to start doing some kind of different training or something. That might fuck you up. You need to keep doing the high intensity training, maybe even step it up even higher, because now you're starting to tell yourself you're going to incorporate some other foods into it that you weren't eating to get to that 150 pound frame or whatever frame you're talking about. So you're going to need to even train even harder than you were doing when you were losing weight, just to maintain it, because you want to start living life on your terms. You want to have those drinks, but you're going to still have to earn that shit, or else it's going to start creeping up. You're going to start losing those ab muscles. I don't know if that all makes sense. It makes sense in my freaking head, but it makes sense to me. Because also, if you start telling yourself, oh, I'm at my goal weight, I'm going to start adding this stuff in. I don't need to train as hard because I'm not trying to lose weight anymore. So I don't need to do my high intensity cardio or high intensity training like my boot camp classes or whatever. You will get complacent. You won't be training as hard. You'll start adding in foods you shouldn't be eating, and your weight will just start going up. So you always need to set new goals, whether it's new way that you look, new goal of how you look, a performance goal, how many reps of an exercise you want to do in a minute. things like that, like your physical fitness, our PFTs that we do at Peak of the first Tuesday of every month. Set performance goals. Set new visual goals for yourself, because you can always get better. You can always get stronger. You can always get faster. You can always run further, run faster, jump higher, lift more weight. You could add strength goals in there. But if you start changing up everything you're doing and thinking, okay, I don't have to work as hard because I'm at my goal, and I can start incorporating all this stuff in, and you're eating that stuff from the no list on a regular basis, you will start gaining weight, because you have been eating. If you stopped losing weight and you're having trouble losing weight and you're pretty happy with the weight you're at, and maybe you just want to now tighten up or whatever, it doesn't mean you can start eating more, because you were eating for your goal weight. So now you're at your goal weight. So you have to just keep doing what you're doing is what you need to do. And that's why this stuff lasts forever, because you already know how to do it and you've gotten there with it. So your goal, the way you ate to get to your goal weight, that is your maintenance eating. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't know how it makes sense to you. What did Rosa say? Rosa said her reason was to feel better within her own skin, to defy the hereditary illness that plague the women in my family, and to live longer. Rosa, I want you to read that out loud. I don't care where you are right now. Read what you just wrote out loud for whoever's around you to hear that. Read it. I want you to read it. I'll read it again for you in case you didn't. Rosa said, she said she wanted to lose another 20 pounds. First of all, we'll backtrack. She said she's sabotaging herself is her issue. She feels great when she loses weight, but for some reason she messes everything up. Don't know why I'm doing that, because the crappy food is not satisfying me. So listen to that statement. And then I asked her, why did she want to lose weight? Why did she want to be healthy? And her answer was to feel better within my own skin, to defy the hereditary illness that plagued the women in my family, and to live longer. Look at your answer, Rosa. That is your fucking answer right there. What is more important to you, Rosa? To eat some shit food that's going to last 30 seconds, or to overcome hereditary illness that plagues the women in your family? Just think about those two. There's nothing left to even talk about once you think about that. Nothing left. If there's no way you can choose to eat that crappy food when this is how deep you're getting with why you want to lose your weight and to live longer and to feel better in your own skin. So would you rather eat a fucking a cupcake or feel better in your own skin? This to me, it's like A and B. It's simple mathematics of which one you want to choose. Think about it. You're giving this is a perfect answer, deep answer. And that is your answer. Your answer is your fucking answer. That's telling you exactly how to overcome it. You want to overcome hereditary illness that plagues the women in your family so that you can live longer. You need to do this to live. This is like a life or death situation. There's nothing left to talk about. It's nothing left to talk about, Rosa. It's a done deal. You are going to be 20 pounds less in less than you could lose. You've already lost some weight, but you could still lose 2 pounds a week right now. Even less. You could be in the summer. Sometime during this summer, you could be less than that. Before, what are we? I don't even know what month we're in. We're in fucking April, May, June. Almost the beginning of the summer, you could be at that weight. Under 200 pounds. And then and who knows what your ultimate dream goal is. You can still keep going from there. So to keep self-sabotaging yourself, intercepting other sounds, I don't know. It's probably the KGB. They're always tapping into my shit. I don't know what they want. Fuck them. What else we got here? Ita, yes, it makes perfect sense. Marjorie, so I can maintain finally. Don't maintain, always move forward. The human body cannot, humans, mentally, you can't maintain. You can't. You will fade. You will fucking die. Do not maintain. You need to have momentum constantly going forward. Like you can't maintain. What is it, Andrew? My goal is to see what I can do. To see what you can do. What do you mean see if you can do it? As in what? Get a little more specific, Andrew. Anyway, any other questions down here that you have? Again, if you do what you should be doing for long enough, eventually you will be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do forever. Remember that. It's put in the time. It's worth it. Right now, I'll go, I don't talk about my own weight or my own whatever I'm on doing this because this is not about me. It is about you. But just to give you an example, I bust my ass all the time with my training. Literally, there's never a week that's off. There's rarely, I'll take Sundays off of training, and even in the summertime or if some event is coming up, I'll stay active on Sundays. I will not miss my training no matter where I am, no matter where I'm traveling. I'm stranded in an airport. I will fucking train. I will have shit with me to train. I'll do bodyweight training because I want to be able to live my life on my terms, do whatever the fuck I want to do forever. So right now, peanut butter. oatmeal, fruits, healthy stuff. But right now I'm having those on a regular basis. I'll trim down, I'll lean down for like we did whenever we do like these silly little photo shoots, we have to do like promotional photo shoots, whatever, we trim down to lean down. But right now I haven't lost any weight or gained any weight. I've had the same weight. I won't use the M word, fucking maintain, for now maybe a month. I'm exactly on the dot, 186 and a half pounds. And guess what? I've eaten some bread. I've eaten some pasta. I've eaten some cereal. I've eaten some peanut butter because you've done what you're supposed to do for long enough. You could eventually do whatever the fuck you want to do forever. Of course, I'm doing that stuff in moderation. And once in a while, I'm just talking about over like the last month or whatever. And my weight has stayed exactly the same because I'm eating for that goal weight of 186 and a half pounds. You know what I mean? So if I want to get lower, I would have to cut that stuff out and I could drop it and it would drop because it would just change it. Then you start eating for a new goal weight. And once you get there, if you continue eating exactly how you need to eat to get to that weight, you're going to stay at that weight. Makes sense to me. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Let me know. Or if you're watching this later, not live, you have any other questions later, just put them in there. I will answer every single one. I will personally answer every question in there. Put them in if you have any. We're getting ready to sign off here. This has been a while. What time is this? Wow, this has been like 45 minutes. This is supposed to be 15 minutes today. But you guys get me fired up because I freaking love doing this shit. I love hanging out with you guys because I have no friends. So I have to just talk to my friends on the internet because I have no fucking friends in the real world. So I just sit here and hang out with you guys and hopefully can help you out and help you get your mind right on Tuesdays to help you get actually put that shit into action on Thursdays for Steve Does. This was Steve Does episode number 3. If you have any questions, you should really go back and rewatch the shit. I need to go back and rewatch the shit because some of that shit was a little twisted that we were talking about. But it all makes sense once you really think about it. If you have any questions about it, go re-listen to it. Go rewatch it and see if you come up with any other questions. And I will hook you up. I will help you out. I will make sure you get on the right path to where you need to go. I will leave you with the same quote that I've already said a couple times. This is my own original quote. If you do what you should be doing for long enough, eventually you will be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do forever. No excuses.